Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. It's Rob Wilson here. If you have experienced narcissistic abuse, be that from a significant other, a boss, a mother, a father, whatever the situation, one thing that you are not familiar with is a win. But we're going to talk about how you win against the narcissist, and you start now. One thing that I have likened the narcissistic abuse to is a PSYOP. Have you ever heard of PSYOPs? A PSYOP is what they call a psychological operation. And PSYOPs operate under what is called the fate model. They steal your focus, they reestablish authority, they establish a new tribe, and they hijack your emotional system. Okay. That's what happens often in narcissistic abuse. Before you came in contact with a narcissist, and if you didn't come in contact with a narcissist from your family of origin, but before you came in contact with a narcissist in your life, you had focus, or you should have had focus. And one of those focuses should have been you. You should have been a primary concern in your own life. This is what is called agency. Agency is when, if we go to an agency, we go there in the hopes that the agency provides some type of benefit for us. Healthcare agencies, financial agencies, and these different institutions. Okay. Now, before you got involved with the narcissist, you had agency. You acted in your own best interests. You made decisions that benefited you. But when you come in contact with a narcissist, they begin to shift your focus off of making decisions in the best interests of yourself, and you have literally have had your reward system hijacked. So you no longer see a reward for making decisions and acting in your own best interests. All of your rewards are hijacked into operating and doing things in the best interests of the narcissist. That's what happens when you begin to give over your control, your agency, yourself. So when you come out of narcissistic abuse, a lot of times people are asking, who am I? What am I? What happened? Why did this happen? And when we begin to win again, we begin to take back our own agency. Now, I have a personal plan, a personal formula, which I have initiated. It's kind of my own little acronym. It's called Win Now. And that those two words, win now, stands for these other words. Win stands for what's important now. See, when you began getting entangled into this entanglement, it's not a relationship. You've heard the term situationship, or maybe you've even heard the term entanglement. When you began to get entangled with the narcissist, you lost now. Now became not something that was in your best interest. It became, you went into survival mode. So that first, the win is what's important now. And if you're in recovery from dealing with the narcissist, the questions that often run through your mind before you grab a hold of the agency of yourself, you were asking, why did they do this? What did I do wrong? Why am I not good enough? Take that away, blot that out, destroy those questions and those concerns you have, and start focusing on what's important now. Okay. Now, now, what do you need to do? Now, maybe do a survey. And this is where this can become interactive. Drop in the comment section what's important now. Is it your health? Is it establishing a physical exercise regime for yourself? And I say this not only that maybe a lot of times you put on weight when you deal with a narcissist because you're doing emotional eating, you're trying to cope, right? And a lot of times before you got involved with the narcissist, you had an exercise regime. You had things that you did for you, but all of those things got hijacked. So what's important now? And one of the things that I think is always best to tell people to get involved in is physical exercise. Because what does physical exercise do? You begin to grapple for yourself. You begin to make decisions. You begin to set goals that you can attain and achieve. Now, set realistic goals, okay? If you have been sedentary because you have been sitting, okay, because a lot of times um, there was this old show called The Wide World of Sports, and one of the taglines on it was the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. When you're sitting and stewing in your juices, another term that often applies to people who've been dealing with a narcissist is you feel stuck. You just feel stuck in a rut. You feel stuck in a routine. So what's important now? And the highest recommendation that you hear from a lot of other people is begin to engage your body. Then you're beginning to engage in a struggle. You're beginning to set goals. Okay, I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything productive for my body. I put on 20 pounds. I started eating unhealthy. And when you engage the struggle with self, you can point it in the direction that benefits you. You haven't been doing anything. You've been ruminating. You've been thinking about them. Think about you. Set a goal. Say, I'm going to walk 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week, or I'm going to walk 30 minutes a day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. Set some kind of goal. You know what that is? As soon as you set that goal, and it isn't a victory when you set a goal. It's a victory when you do it. So whatever you do it now. Think about now. But beyond the acronym, what's important now, the second thing in win now is now stands for no opportunity wasted. Now, when we were talking about the fate model, they rob you, they take your focus off. This is a PSYOP. Say there was a government PSYOP and they tried to get control. Okay, let's talk about on a macro level. They tried to get control of civilizations or try to get control of organizations. A lot of times, organizational takeovers take place because there's a bunch of Machiavellian schemes that are going on corporate levels. And you might see some announcement on the news that says corporation is going to shut down its European operations and da da da. So that announcement was not the win. But that announcement that they were going to shut down their European operations got some other corporation on some other continent to let their guard down, to relax their standards, because the real thing that was happening was over there. They were going to take over. They were going to do a hostile takeover of that company. You might even say there was a PSYOP involved when Elon Musk purchased Twitter and turned it into X. There was a PSYOP involved. There was a lot of things going on in the news that took precedent over it, and a lot of behind the scenes maneuvering. A lot of times PSYOPs go on in political campaigns. But anyway, the now portion of this, or let me go back to they change your focus. You're not focusing on the right thing. And then they establish authority. So when you begin to take the steps to re-engage your workout system, when you begin to take the first steps of your walking program, when you begin to take the first steps of a more healthy eating pattern, you have begun to take the authority away from the narcissist and give a sense of authority and agency and empowerment back to yourself. What's the other thing they do? What's the other thing that in a PSYOP, in the fate model, you have the focus has shifted, a reestablishment of authority is the goal of a PSYOP, and then the T stands for tribe. So you've been enmeshed in the narcissistic tribe. You grew up in a narcissistic family system. You got involved with a narcissistic husband or narcissistic wife. The narcissistic husband or wife rules the tribe in your home. Well, you don't have to only navigate in a system where the narcissist rules. You get to reestablish a new tribe. You get to meet new people as you work out at the gym. You get to get different interests when you begin to go and maybe get a subscription to a fitness magazine. Get involved in a walking club. Get involved in a nutrition class. You establish a new tribe that has new language, healthy language. Okay. And the fourth thing in the fate model is that they get you to they hijack your emotional system. Okay. And again, because so much of what's happening in a narcissistic relationship is not logical, it doesn't make any sense, because it will never make sense, because the narcissist is operating in survival mode. You having power, you having authority, you having control, it it affects their survival instinct. They think they have no power if you have power. That's how a narcissist feels. That's how a narcissist feels. If you have control, even control over yourself, even your own personal agency, they feel threatened. If you feel a sense of accomplishment because they feel insignificant by anyone else's significance, it makes them feel insignificant. No, it's not how healthy people think. It's not how healthy people want to live and cooperate with one another. We're talking about a narcissist. But what they do is they hijack. Have you ever had something good happen for you and you shared it with a narcissist and they look defeated? They look down? Yeah, that's how they feel. That's how they feel. So they hijack your own joy, your own rewards for your own personal achievements and accomplishments. So, another thing, another acronym I want to give you is the TEAM acronym, the acronym TEAM. And when you're dealing with a narcissist, you're never going to come to a decision making process that ultimately the desire, if you're in a hostile takeover, it's win lose. Okay, if you are wanting power and you're and control, the bargaining place that the winner has to be in is win lose. But in a healthy mute relationship with mutuality, the goal is win win. If I win and you lose, I lose in a real, authentic love relationship. The narcissist doesn't think win win. It can't be great for you and great for me too because I'm happy for you. It's great for you, and then therefore it's a loss for me because I didn't get nothing out of it. But healthy people are happy when they see other people winning. So your win makes me celebrate. Your win reminds me I've got a win coming up. But I've got to take the actions. And see, that's the difference with a narcissist. The narcissist doesn't put in the work, they don't put in the actions to have a legitimate win. They're like, it's like cheaters. They want to win, but they want to win by cheating. They want to be celebrated when they don't put in the work to get the celebration. That's why when you have something to celebrate, when you have something you have accomplished, they feel defeated because they don't put in that same type of effort. So here's another acronym. It's called TEAM, okay? And look, when you were with a narcissist, there was no team. There was no win-win. There was lose-win. Lose for you, win for them. But when you're going no contact, and hopefully, and you can still even do these things even when even if you're with the narcissistic spouse, or even if you're under the household of a narcissistic parent. Sometimes adults end up back under the roof of narcissistic parents, because narcissistic parents don't equip their children for life, and sometimes you got to go back because you weren't really trained right in your childhood. We're not going there right now, but let's think of TEAM as an acronym. TEAM meaning the things that benefit you, your time, your energy, your attention, and your money. So when you're with a narcissist, they want your time for their benefit. They want your energy for their benefit. They want your they want your attention for their benefit. They want your compliments. They want you to praise them. They want you to worship them. They want you to adore them. They want you to serve them. They want it to be me, me, me. And they wanted your money. So now a win A win now in the road of recovery is reclaiming your time. And that means you're thinking about things that are good for you. You're thinking about opportunities. And here's another thing about the now part of the acronym: no opportunity wasted. What's an opportunity? What is an opportunity? Define your opportunities. Is it that I'm going to work out 30 minutes a day, 3 times a week, 4 times a week? And in the comments section, if you would, and this video engage with you, write down what your win is now. Is it working out? Is it beginning to walk? Is it beginning to take control of your diet? Is it beginning to take control of your money? Okay. And by that, I mean beginning to save money, beginning to work, looking for a second job, which works with your schedule, beginning to look at entrepreneurship that you can do part-time to establish a stream of income. Whatever it is, drop down in the comment section and tell us in this community what you're taking back for you. So reclaim your time, your energy, your attention, and your money, because it was hijacked. All of your time was spent thinking about them. All of your energy was spent on them. All of your attention was focused on them. If it wasn't pleasing them, it was, how do I not get them to rage at me? How do I ask a question without getting narcissistic word salad, projection, gaslit, and there's no way. But when you're not dealing with them, you get to reclaim your time, your energy, your attention, and your money. You get to invest in you. And you may get to invest in something else that's far more worthwhile, that pays dividends. So look for and examine your opportunities. Drop in the comments section where you're going to invest your opportunities. And when you're dealing with a narcissist, when you're trying to invest anything in a narcissist, when you're trying to build with a narcissist is a liability. A narcissist is not an opportunity. A narcissist is a liability. A narcissist in the ledger of your financial journal is a negative, is a credit, not a debit. All right, so please think about this. Win now. What's important now? No opportunity wasted. How are you going to decide to reclaim your time, your energy, your attention, and your money, financial resources, okay? Your goods. Reclaim what was given over to the narcissistic abuser. And we're going to talk more about the different things about narcissistic abuse. But when you begin to focus on what benefits you, when you begin to focus on where you can invest yourself, that's an opportunity for you. That's a net positive for you. You begin to win. And let me tell you, when you begin to win, it's not narcissistic to win. And look, it has nothing to do with them. It has nothing to do with getting even with them. It comes down to the fact, if you think about the things that maybe highlight narcissistic abuse: betrayal, rejection, catastrophe, being shattered, and being abandoned, and being betrayed, okay? They want you. That's the stew that you've been sitting in. Those are the juices that you've been ruminating in. That's where they want to find you. That's where they want to find you when they come back and take another look. But when you begin to focus on, in the ways I have just expressed in this video, maybe not very well, I'll do it more in the future. But when you begin to focus in the ways I've expressed in this video, win now. What's important now? No opportunity wasted now. Where am I going to reclaim my sense of agency, my sense of accomplishment? Where am I going to begin to win? And you begin to engage in actual actionable steps and make progress. Okay, I walked 4 times a week, 4 times in 1 week, week 1. But it's not one and done. It's week 2. It's week 3. Okay, it's week 4. Okay, it's week 5. Okay, I'm not walking anymore. I'm going to take a slow jog. It's week 6. It's week 7. It's week 8. I'm jogging a little faster. Oh my goodness, I jumped on the scales and I'm 10 pounds lighter. Oh, wait a minute. It's week 9. It's week 10. These clothes don't fit me anymore. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start lifting. I'm going to build up the guns again. I'm going to build up the glutes again. Okay, you get the picture, and get addicted to being invested in something that pays off for you. And that's how you win over the narcissist. That's how you defeat the narcissist. And the main thing, they want to find you stewing in the juices that they left you in. And rather than finding you in the juices that they left you stewing in of abandonment, betrayal, you know, infidelity, whatever, if they get a chance to look at you, and I don't even suggest that you give them an opportunity, they look and they see you winning. But when you do this, don't do this for them at all. You're doing this for you because you deserve it and you're worth it. All right. I hope this blesses you. I will do probably a better breakdown of this in the future. Man, you always need to learn new things about dealing with a narcissist, but they hijacked you. And this is how you reclaim you. And not only are you reclaiming you, you're coming back as a better version of yourself. And they'll come back to find you, and the person that they left behind and the person you were when they met them, neither one of those people exists anymore, because you have become a new you, a person who wins now. All right, grace and peace.